Guess what we're making today? Chile Rellenos. So we're going to start with charring our peppers. We'll see how they turn out. And look, the hamburger press from Pampered Chef works great to weigh them down since they're curved and they're hard to get on all the sides. Just gently put that on there and it kind of holds them down so they get charred on all the sides evenly. It's perfect. And now that they're all done, and they did really nicely with that weight, that was a new thing for me to try. So that was perfect. It worked awesome. And now just put them in the Ziploc to steam, and that way we can peel off the charred skins and prepare them for stuffing with our cheese. Okay, so we've taken them out of the bag. They've cooled down enough to handle, and we are going to scrape off the charred skin. And you can gently use a knife to scrape it off. It's almost like tedious, like peeling a sunburn. If you like that, you might find it relaxing. If not, you might find it tedious. These are definitely labor intensive, but you know, it just depends on if you like that tedious work. So I just gently took the knife and scraped down to kind of scrape that skin off. And I didn't do a super great job, but I didn't want to cut it and tear up the skin of it too, because then you can't keep your peppers in, or your cheese inside. So I got as much off as I could. I even used paper towels to gently rub the surface to get anything off. And then some of them naturally split, which was easy. And I could just reach in there and pull out all the seeds and all the gunk out of it gently. And I was lucky enough that everything stayed together and I only got one split, not on both sides, because that's going to be a little bit harder to keep closed once you put it in your batter and you go to fry them. So this is the step we're at now. We have seeded them and skinned them. We are now going to stuff them with cheese and make our batter for dipping them in the batter and frying them. Okay, we're going to make the sauce now for them. And we're going to take 2 cups of water, 2 Roma tomatoes, a jalapeno, and a serrano. And we're just going to boil those until they're soft. Okay, now that our tomatoes and peppers are a little cooled off, they're just lukewarm, I've got them in my Ninja, and I'm going to be adding 1/2 tablespoon of chicken Knorr and another cup of water. And we're going to blend this up, and this is going to make our sauce. Sorry, I'm probably making you guys dizzy. A little bit longer. Okay, now we're going to get our pan over here. We've got oil in that, and we're going to saute probably 1/2 of an onion diced up and get that a little golden brown, and then we're going to add the sauce and simmer the sauce till it thickens. Okay, don't be a goof like me and forget 1/2 of your ingredients. We need to put a piece of onion in, and we need some garlic. And since I don't have any fresh garlic bulbs, we're just going to use the minced garlic in a jar, because that's what I have. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of the garlic, if I can get it with holding the phone too. And reblend. Sorry guys. Okay, now that we have our onion sauteed, looking yummy, we're going to go ahead and pour in our sauce. kind of stir and just kind of let that cook down and thicken up and get super yummy. Okay, I decided to add a little bit to this recipe from the original version that I got, just because it was a little bit, it just wasn't as spicy and flavorful as we would like it. So I added probably about a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, and I added probably a tablespoon of the tomato nor as well, just to kind of bump up that tomato. And then I'm going to add a sesame packet. And at that point, that's all I've added additionally to it. So like I said, we'll just kind of let this cook down. It does have good good heat to it. So the jalapeno and the serrano, I left the seeds in because we like the heat. So we're just going to let this simmer on down. And we're going to go ahead and get over there and start making the batter. Okay, once this thickened up, I ended up adding a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it up because I wanted it a little bit thicker. So it ended up being maybe like a tablespoon of cornstarch. Mixed that in and got it thick. And then once it came to a boil and got to the thickness that I wanted, I just added probably a 1/4 cup of cilantro. And just turn off the heat and set it aside while we go on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to take our 6 egg whites and we're going to go ahead and whip those up because we're going to try and make a meringue. And I put my bowl in the refrigerator and my whisk in the freezer because everything whips up so much better when it's cold. So keep your eggs cold. While you're doing your egg whites, go ahead and put your egg yolks back in the refrigerator so they stay cold as well. Let's go ahead and whip these up. We've got them on high and it takes a while, so just be patient. Okay, so once your egg whites start getting stiff, then we're going to add our egg yolks one at a time slowly until we get those incorporated. Ignore my mixer. My mixer has never worked right since the day I got it. It doesn't have a slow, and so it always sounds like it's dying, but it has served me well my whole baking career, so I am not going to put her to rest until she dies on me. All right, I think everything is mixed in good. So we've got our batter that we will put the Chile Rellenos in. We're going to go and dip them in flour, coat them in flour, and then we will dip them in the egg mixture and we will start frying. Okay, they are not pretty by any means. I've got to master how to get them from the coating to the oil without making them look like big, I don't know, messes. So anyways, we're going to flip this. Okay, it's getting a little better. They're not so huge. So we'll see. I'm going to keep trying. Okay, they're all out and we're just letting them sit on the paper towels to drain just a little bit. And then we will plate them up with the rice that I made and get that sauce poured on them and see how they came out.